There's one interesting thing about people and goals the world over. When you ask people to set goals for whatever it is that they want to do in life, there is one constant that normally comes. And this constant is the constant of adventure. Of course, the issue of money, cars, houses, they're always going to be there. But for the most part, you'll hear people talking about adventure. They want to travel, they want to experience this world in a different way, and so on. There's the spirit of adventure inside of us, the spirit of curiosity inside of us, the spirit of wanting to explore the shores and so on inside of us. And in this episode, we are talking still about turning your purpose into profit. And we're looking at some of the tools that we can arm ourselves with in order to convert our purpose into profit. It's an interesting thing for us to do here in this day and in this age, especially when COVID is wasting jobs and so on and so forth. Let us just tackle this head on and see how it goes. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
So we're talking about internal versus external forces that either can work for you or they can work against you. That's always a constant in life. You want to begin something, there's going to be internal motivation or internal apprehension. There's also going to be external motivation or external affront, external opposition. Those two things are always going to be in operation in your life. Now, at some point in time, you need to decide where your control is. Is your control on the internal, or is it your control on the external, or is your control on both of them? If you can find yourself having control of only the internal, you are way ahead and you are on your way to succeeding, as compared to a guy who doesn't have a hold or a control of the internal motivations or apprehensions. See, if you wanted to do anything, those two forces are always going to be at play. And he's the kind of guy who listens to the internal motivation and who takes note of the internal discouragement and internal affront, internal fear, and has a handle on them that is going to be successful. So if you're going to convert your purpose into profit, which is something that we've been talking about over and over and over again, and there is a case for it. We made a case for it saying that everyone has purpose, everyone has an idea, everyone has a calling, everyone has gifts and talents, everyone has passions. You cannot find a human being who doesn't have any one of these elements. And if that is the case, if everyone has at least one of those things, then it means that it is a mainstay. Probably it's the way life is supposed to be conducted, with the prism or through the conduit of those things, in relation to those things, in honor of those things. But then we see today, for the increasing part, is that life is conducted devoid of these things. So life is basically conducted despite of these things. They are put on the corner, they are put on the back burner, and there are other things that purportedly we think are going to work. And probably it's because we've changed our outlook of life. So you find you're gifted in one thing, but you're not using that gift. You're not using that talent to put food on the table, to change the society, and so on. probably we are thinking that the only thing we need to do in this life is to make it, whatever making it in life means. And therefore, when you have that as a goal to live, to make it in life, it turns out that just about anything that can help you to achieve that goal, you will use it. And for the most part, those things might not necessarily be involving your gifts and your talents and so on. And so we find mostly everyone kind of goes through that angle or through that path of forgetting their gifts, forgetting their talent, forgetting their ideas, forgetting their calling, and finding a way that they can be able to make it in life one way or another. And as they do that, we are increasingly seeing very many people disillusioned. Very many people are not being served by one system. Remember we said about that one system is not the only answer that there is in this life. That life has a tapestry of answers. We are unique in our own different ways, all of us, the 7 billion of us who are already alive on the face of the earth right now. And we are totally unique. We are totally different one from another. You cannot expect one form of answer for all of us unless we're talking about redemption, talking about the afterlife. Then maybe we can talk about one answer there. But I'm talking about here and now. Our answers in this life are not the same. That's why we have people who are different from one another, unique from one another. Those ones who love some things, those ones who don't love some things. Those ones who are gifted in one way, those ones who are not gifted in one way. What we can do, like we said in the previous episodes, is to celebrate those differentness, celebrate that uniqueness. That is the similarity that we can actually agree on. That let us celebrate the uniqueness of every individual person. Let us celebrate the uniqueness of the differentness of people in this particular life. And in so doing, we kind of change the way we are existing in life, because now the goal is not necessarily to make it in life. The goal becomes to be the best versions of ourselves. For what purpose? So that we can contribute to society, so that we can impact society, so that we can work and have fun with our gifts and our talents and our passion, fueled by our calling. And that's how it's supposed to be, but it is not so. For as long as we want to make it in life, working in order to contribute, we become so selfish. We don't work to contribute, we don't work to impact. Primarily, we don't do that. We kind of reverse it, put the cart before the horse, in that we are working to make it in life, and in so doing, we're going to impact society. And it never happens. But it's supposed to be the other way around. It's supposed to impact society, contribute, become the best version of yourself, and in so doing, you make it in life. And that's why I am saying that it is important for us to create a way or a methodology through which we're going to convert our purpose into profit. And you can find this course. I've created an online course that is supposed to be charged at $250, but we're charging $30 for now. You can find this course from bit.ly/purpose to profit -coaching. The word purpose to profit has the number 2 in it, the numeral 2. Instead of the letter TO, we have substituted those letters with the numeral 2. So it is bit.ly/purpose to profit -coaching. And I've written that on the write-up for this episode. You can find it. So we're discussing some of the tools that we do need in order to convert that purpose into profit. And the first tool we discussed yesterday is the tool of guts. You've got to have some guts, and you've got to pay the price beforehand. You pay the price of fear, shame, embarrassment, rejection. Pay that on credit. In other words, pay it up front before you can get into the game. If you don't have guts, you might not necessarily monetize your purpose, because it is not conventional. And the same thing, the reason as to why it's not conventional is why I'm saying that number 2, if you want to turn your purpose into profit, the second tool that you can be able to use is the tool for adventure, a spirit of adventure. You know what a spirit of adventure is? It doesn't have this finiteness that it has to be like this. It has to be like this by this particular moment in time. And I know that's a business way of looking at things. But adventure spirit It is the adventure spirit that made Richard Branson to become the billionaire that he is. And I'm not saying that all of us should copy and paste him. What I'm saying is that if you're going to convert your purpose into profit, you've got to engage a different spirit, and that is the spirit of adventure. In other words, you, as we said yesterday, you are daring to go, and you're also having fun in the process, acknowledging the fact that this is unconventional. Nobody goes to an adventure that is conventional. Nobody goes to an adventure that they know how it is, they can tell how the mountains look like, and they have been there all this time. People who go for adventures are always looking for newness, new things. That's the same thing with your purpose, turning it into profit. It is a new thing. It is something you've not seen, something that is going to be unfolding before you, unlike the conventional, which is proven. Conventional is proven, it is tried, it is tested, it is predictable. You can put in and you can put out in a predictable manner. But when you're coming to turn your purpose into profit, it's totally different. It is unconventional. That's why you have to have an adventure spirit. You've got to have fun, but also at the same time you are serious. See, if you approach this from the angle of not having adventure, you might not even consider why, because you'll be looking for status quo, you'll be looking for the conventional. But turning your purpose into profit is not conventional in any way. And also, as you're going to engage this adventure spirit, you're also at the back of your mind knowing that I'm gonna grow. Come rain or shine, I'm gonna grow. It might not pan out the way I want it to pan out, but I'm going to grow in one aspect of my life or another. I'm gonna be uncomfortable, but I'm gonna have fun in this discomfort that I'm going to have. I am going to face uncertainty, but I'm going to have fun at the same time as I'm facing this uncertainty. It might not pan out the way I want it to pan out. That's why I'm on this adventure in the first place. If you wanted it to be predictable so that you can know what is going to happen tomorrow and the day after and the week after and the month after, you might not necessarily turn your purpose into profit. But I urge you, even as you go into this adventure spirit, you also need to engage the spirit of urgency. In other words, you are daring enough to want to be in the smack in the middle of the activities right then and there to see how it's going to pan out. So maybe you might hit a wall, but the wall hitting does not necessarily mean that this thing doesn't work, let's quit. No, it means let's now find a way. If you're on an adventure and you're going somewhere, you've got to find a way. Can we circumnavigate this? Can we climb the wall? Can we make a hole through the wall? Whatever it is, can we use? But we must make sure that we get back home. That's the spirit of adventure that I'm talking about. That when you are turning your purpose into profit, it is not straightforward. That's why you need to go and have fun while you are at it. That is the second spirit. That is the second ingredient that I'm going to give you in order to conquer the internal opposition. Remember, we say that the internal opposition is the one that contributes so much to very many people not contributing to their purpose into profit. The internal opposition. How do you conquer internal opposition? You acknowledge it's there, and you take on the spirit of adventure and say, as much as there is fear, as much as there is this and there is apprehension and there is that and so on, I'm going to do it anyway. And if I fail, so be it. It's not the end of life. If I win, I have learned and I have grown. In fact, even if I fail, I'm still going to grow and learn through it. And that is how it's done. Every time you see fear in terms of turning your purpose into profit, that fear is the door you should be knocking at. Every time you see apprehension in terms of turning your purpose into profit, that apprehension is the door you should be smashing open. That is the spirit of adventure that I am talking about in converting your purpose into profit. Otherwise, you will not do it. This tool of adventure is incredibly important. Every time there is something that you're feeling uncomfortable with, that this thing I am wishing it away, The thing to do is to dare it. Let me tell you this. At the end of the day, you are not going to die. I guarantee you that. You will not die trying to turn your purpose into profit. What is the worst that can happen? What is the worst? What is the worst case scenario? I normally use that too. What is the worst case scenario that can happen? When you're going against the grain, there is a fear. There is fear of losing your investments. There's fear of being ridiculed. Fear of basically just messing up and so on. Fear of, taking your life backwards, maybe light years back. Those things are there. But I dare you, go there where the fear is and use the spirit of adventure as you do it. The results will astound you. And probably the fear that you're thinking is there is an illusion. Probably it is not there. Probably. I'm not saying it's not there. I'm saying probably it is not there. But even if it is there, you're going to conquer it because you're having the spirit of adventure. So tool number 2, if you're to turn your purpose into profit, do it as an adventure. Take it seriously, but don't take it seriously at the same time. That is what adventure is all about. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about something else, but until then, bye-bye. A special shout out to my mentor, Jeffrey Howard of Visionary Business University, found at mastermindmentor.com, who has graciously provided me with the soundtrack and the introductory track to this podcast. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.